All right, here we are, chapter 5, section 1. So, in the beginning here, we are just learning what the vocabulary of triangles. We have a way of calling different triangles different names based upon their angles. An acute triangle, for example, has all three angles less than 90 degrees. A right angle triangle has a right angle as one of its three angles, as well as obtuse triangles have one angle that's greater than 90 degrees, and an equilateral triangle is when all three of them are the same at 60. So it's mostly just vocabulary, right? And we're going to be practicing that today. The other way of labeling and referring to triangles is by their sides. So here you can see that an equilateral triangle has three sides that are the same. An isosceles has two sides that are the same, and a triangle called a scalene triangle is none of them are the same. Okay. Please notice the little hash marks, which also refer to us geometrically as that they're the same size. All right. So a couple of theorems to talk about. Like a lot of other theorems, some of these seem a little obvious to you, but they're not um, necessarily true on their own. The theorem is based upon other postulates and other axioms and other givens, right? So but as it turns out, when you figure out the sum of all three angles in a triangle, it's 180 degrees. Now, there's a lot of different ways of proving it, but it's so provable all the time that we now refer to it as a theorem. Okay. Now, here's another attachment to that, something referred to as a corollary. Now, a corollary is not contrary. It doesn't mean the opposite. A corollary means in addition to this, or because all of the three angles of a triangle are 180, something is true. In this case, in a right triangle, the sum of the other two acute angles is 90, right? All they're really saying is that it's always 180. And in this case, where we already know one of them is 90, then we can say, without a shadow of a doubt, we're not really guessing, the other two add up to be 90 also. That's called the triangle sum theorem. Next, I'll talk about the exterior angle theorem. Okay. Likewise, the measurement of angle 1, that's this guy right here, this curve right here, the measurement of angle 1 is equal to the sum of this angle and this angle. All right. Now let's think about this. This angle and this angle would have to be taken subtracted from 180 to find out how much this is. Okay. Well, if this was a linear pair, okay, you would also have to subtract 180 minus this amount to find out what the 1 is. And what we're saying here is transitively, this angle is the same as those two added up. Okay? Now, we're going to use all that knowledge in today's work. All right. So, classify triangles by its side and then determine if it's a right triangle. Okay? So, here's our example. We put all these dots down: 2, 3, 6, 3, 2, 7. To classify a triangle by its sides, we need to know the length of each side. By looking and counting, we can see from A to B, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. From A to C, start off with 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and now we need to know how long this one is. Well, to do that, we need the distance formula. So CB is the distance formula shown here. That tells us that CB is about the square root of 32, or approximately 5.66. Essentially, what we're saying here is that we have two legs that are the same and one that is not. Two legs that are the same and one that is not. This is an isosceles triangle. Okay, I made a mistake there. This is an isosceles triangle. To determine if it's a right angle or not, we need to look at the slopes. Now, beyond that, looking at this, you can clearly see it's a right angle. All right. Now, let's take a look at some of our work examples from today. What is the measurement of angle 1? One more time. If all three angles is 180, what we would need to do is to subtract the angles that we know about to get our answer. Okay? In this case, if I take my calculator and I take 180 minus 92 minus 62, I get 26. Alrighty, and that's the answer. This is 26 degrees. In this case, because of the exterior angle theorem, this angle is going to be these two combined. Okay, so when we combine those together, this angle is 117 degrees. Okay, well, good luck, everybody. And if you have any questions, you just let me know or email me.